We're gonna catch another one.
Experiment time, mad scientist angler.
We got a good one. That's a giant.
Welcome to the lab.
Nice. Well, that go.
What is going on, my peeps? Welcome to mikeybalzz Fishing. How you guys doing? Doing good. I'm out on the lake, right? You know, I got some great feedback from you guys when I did some like DIY mods and that on some baits. So I thought we'd do a little bit of an experiment today with something that I absolutely love to do. As you guys know, I have a little bit of a love affair with the old Ned Rig. And the Ned Rig, you know, it catches fish, but it's getting a little bit old. So I like to mix things up. So we're gonna do a little experiment. I have a DIY kind of like personal mod, which I gotta throw a little bit of credit to my buddy John Carter, who fishes the opens from Maine. He kind of like massaged the idea. I had the idea and it kind of gradually came in and we put it together. I'm going to show you how to set it up. It's kind of a Mod Ned. I think he calls it, what does he call it? The Jed. You'll see why. But it's a pretty cool way to modify a Ned, maybe get a little more bulk out of it, maybe get some bigger bites out of it. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get out on the water here and we are going to test it against the regular Ned. Maybe it'll catch the same amount of fish, maybe it'll catch less, but it's always cool to kind of like test a bait in a pot of fish, see what one thing does, see what a different rig does, and kind of see how things pan out. As you guys know, I'm all about learning. I love learning. A lot of you guys have put in the comments that you like kind of like learning along with the process that I go through. And it takes many fails to learn. Let me remind you of that. But if you guys like these kinds of videos where we're learning, where we're doing some kind of bait tests and kind of testing them out on the fish, kind of real fishing action, make sure you hit that like button and make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're gonna go through this DIY rig. We're gonna go through how we're gonna fish it, and we're going to have a little fun with it. Hopefully bend some rock. But hopefully it'll be something that you're interested in trying, because I'm gonna put links down in the description box so you can grab the stuff from Tackle Warehouse and you can make your own. You ready to be on video? Video bog? Video bog! What's your bog be? Get a high five. All right, go Ned Rig. So guys, I don't know if this is gonna work, but what we did is we found some suspended fish. You can see they're up elevated off the bottom, and then there's a couple right there. Found them on the side scan. They look like they're on a little bit of shell. They don't look super big, but our goal here isn't to catch a giant. It's to test to see if this rig works. Experiment time.
It's a little better one. How about that, boys? Time to try an experiment.
So here's what we're gonna do. I got my little 1/4 ounce Ned, and I'm just going to take a custom skirt that I make, and I'm going to slide it on all the way up to the collar, just like that. So yeah, it looks like a regular jig right now, but here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make like a finesse custom Ned deal. Just gonna go ahead and get the skirt together so that I can take my scissors and go like that. And then I need to get the top of it without cutting the line. This is kind of the trick. It's a lot easier to do this when they're not already tied up. But since we are in the midst of fishing, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? All right, got it right there. We're gonna cut it right there. And we have an ultra finesse little Ned deal. I'm gonna cut the stuff on the hook down a little bit more. How about that? Is it gonna catch fish? I think so.
All right, guys, that is our finished product. That's pretty bad to the bone right there. It's just a little finesse jig with that Ned on it. With I got a Damiki stinger right on there. Pretty bad, huh? I think I'm actually gonna retie before we sling it too. Plus we got a Guggen pulling up on us. Fish on, custom Ned with his skirt. What? I like when things work. That's freaking sweet, dude. Love variations. It's kind of funny because he's kind of small. That tells us something. Custom little Ned, just with that little micro skirt on it. All right, guys, fish on. That one feels a little bit better. That's a better fish. Stay on, stay on. Like a jig or like that bulkier presentation will get bigger bites. I think they might be right. Oh, nice. Nice. DIY mod. That thing even looks cool. Guys, I'm fishing this thing just like I would fish like a regular Ned. You know, I'm just shaking it on the bottom, and I think what that skirt's doing is it's adding a little bit of bulk, and it makes it actually a little bit easier to cast because it gives it a little bit more weight. But you know, like any skirt, it's just kind of flaring down there, maybe giving it a little more size, a little more water displacement. And oh, we hit a piece of shell. Got fired up for a second. But we're putting our, you know, our traditional baits on it, whether it's a Damiki stinger. Oh, boom. Darn it. Come on back and get it. Or a Gambler Fat Ace, like a 6-inch one, tied down. Yeah, I'd like to tie it down. But we're just dragging it, fishing it real slow, shake just a little bit. Super light tackle, you know, 10-pound fluorocarbon. Maybe I should go down to 8 since they're biting so funky and getting their faces ramshackled by many anglers. But, you know, just trying to give a different presentation. That's what it's always about when you're doing these mods. We got a good one. That's a giant. Lighten the drag. Oh, that's a giant on the, oh, I thought she was, darn it. The way she ate it. Man, that just tells you though, like when you change up presentations, like they can slam it. I haven't had a single fish eat it like that in a while.
All right, guys, here's today's comment portion of the video. Here's what I want to know from you. Because I've told you in the past, I love learning from you as much as I've had nice comments of you guys learning from the videos. So give a little back. I'll give to you, you give to me. What is your favorite bait to put on the back of a Ned? Is it a fat ace? Is it an ace? Is it a stinger? Is it, you know, what? Somebody's calling me already and telling me what their favorite bait is. So take a second and go down into the comment section and tell me what is your favorite bait to put on the back of a Ned, because I want to learn too.
Fish on, guys. Fish on, guys. This thing works. That is so cool. Don't pull my skirt off. Once again, chomping it with the skirt. A little custom DIY mod. That's a good one. Oh, that's a big one. Oh, God. Oh, guys, let off the drag. You gotta be real gentle with these hooks because they're so small. Just hit it at a different angle. Oh, gosh. Oh, come on. They're such powerful. Oh, nice. Just let off the drag and you let your reel do the work. It's so hard to be this patient, but you got to when you're dealing with these small hooks and finesse presentations like this. Look at that fish. Come here. She doesn't want to show you guys the, oh, God. Oh, she chomped it too, dude. Look at that. Look at that. You like that, bug? Guys, if you don't like this video because of me and my mod, like it because of freaking bog. Look at that. Solid one.
You know, in my opinion, it is hard to beat a Ned rig. It is one of those things that just catch, oh, you like my shirt, by the way? mikeybalzz fishing? You can get them at Bass Attitude. But it's hard to beat a Ned rig. It's one of those things that just catches them, dude. And like I got put onto it. I was after the big cycle, you know, when it was in Bass Blaster. It was on Bassmaster. A lot of guys up north were talking about it. But like when I started playing with it, I absolutely fell in love with it. It's such a strong finesse and catch them anytime, anywhere, any conditions technique. It's almost replaced my drop shot. My drop shot really used to be that rig where if I wasn't getting bites, if I was struggling, that's what would come out, the old drop shot. But now, instead of throwing that, I'll pick up the old Ned. But how do you like that? How you like me now? How you like me now? We talked about it a little when we were rigging this thing up, but you know, small modifications, small changes, like a little skirt, like the wobble head, where you take a football head instead of like the head, you know, being directly attached to the hook, put a little split ring in there. Small modifications, small nuances on baits and presentations can really lead to getting more fish to bite. Oftentimes it's not that the fish have left an area or that, you know, they've totally shut off. It's that you need to modify your approach and adapt, maybe show them something a little bit different in order to trigger those bites that you were getting. It's kind of like the crankbait thing we were talking about. If you guys look back a few videos, I put up a crankbait video where it's basically a buyer's guide, like a consumer reports breakdown of crankbaits. And the reason I was so into that and so interested in like defining these different aspects and different features of these crankbaits is because even though they're all crankbaits and they all kind of fish in generally like the same way, the key I was finding when I was fishing them is they had different report, they had different feel, they had different vibration, they'd run slightly different, they'd deflect slightly different. And those slight differences, should we say nuance again? I should get like zapped every time I say nuance. Those slight nuances in those crankbaits is really what got like one fish to bite that one and another fish to bite that one. Or if I was fishing a school with a 10XD and I busted out like that Spro Little John, you know, and they'd eat that. Like those slight nuances, so little changes in the same quote unquote like top, like subject matter, like topic, I don't even know what you call it, the same style of bait, you know, can really make a difference and trigger those fish to bite. So let's break down our components here. What we have is a 1/4 ounce Ned rig. Basically, I use the Berkeley one or I use the Nichols, the JT Kenny Meg Ned. Both are super solid. The Berkeley's a little easier to do this mod with because it does have that collar like that. The Meg Ned by Nichols only has like a little keeper on it, so it's a little trickier to keep that collar on it. Basically, this is a silicone skirt. I might play around with using a Star Flash, the round rubber style skirts. I think one of the most important parts though is making sure your band is in good condition because it needs to squeeze on there and hold on there. The other thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you cut it down. We definitely trim that down, and frankly, I think I might even think about trimming that down some more. I really want to make just a little micro finesse jig. I want it to undulate just a little bit. I want a little bit extra bulk, a little bit of vibration, but I don't want to take away from any of the finesse features. The other thing is bait choice, and I keep it really simple there. This is a Demiki Stinger. I'll use a 7-inch fat ace, a 6-inch fat ace, even the standard ace. All of them I'll bite down a little bit. This Stinger, I only bite the tip off, but those fat aces, I'm biting like about half of it off. Maybe I got one down here. Hold on. There's a good example, and that's our traditional Ned rig. But you bite it down, that's an ace. That one I left a little bit bigger to try to get a few bigger bites, but you're just gonna bite it down. Same stick bait kind of finesse approach. Super cool, and it gets bites. But it's always fun to try new stuff, and especially to experiment with something that's been successful in an area where you know this works, but what happens if you make a slight change? Give this thing a try. I don't know what you want to call it. Like I said, my buddy John Carter, I think he calls it a Jed, like a, you know, a jig Ned kind of deal. Pretty creative, you know, Jed rig. But basically all it is you're adding a skirt to that Ned rig, giving it a little more bulk, giving it a little more flare, a little more undulation and water displacement. But it's a good approach to just slightly change up something that definitely works when you have finicky and tough biting fish. Try it out on your water. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy these mod videos, dude. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time out on the water. mikeybalzz Fishing, checking out.
Yeah.